and all of that. So that being said, do you think Liam is a good coach that just came to the club at the wrong time, or Chelsea players are brats?
Um, I still think he's a good coach.
Interesting. How
The
do you
players spoke
measure
very
that?
highly of him. They felt he was a good motivator. Unfortunately for his his training methods were very bad. From day one, they highlighted it. That his training methods, they didn't see anything that inspired them. I don't know if it is
So
his
why did
own
you say he's a good coach if you are saying his training method? So what makes a good? I was
coaching.
very
Coaching,
confused to talk about world class management.
I'm big on ginger. So the ginger was there. He could ginger, he
So
could
how where was
motivate.
the ginger
He
where was
could.
the ginger when we're not scoring five in 5 straight games? What happened to the ginger then?
I think that training really got to the players. The training methods, like for them to compare him with Pochettino and Maresca, it means it was really bad.
And you are saying he's a good coach?
There are two things. He can be a good coach and his training method can be bad. Now, if he's a smart guy,
This is
he
English
would have
language.
gotten
I mean.
he would have gotten an assistant, right? That will help with the training. A lot of times they have assistants that help them with the training. But in his case, it seems like he's handling everything. Like we don't even you look at Ateta. Ateta has like maybe three guys. One is doing set piece, one is doing something, one is doing another thing. We didn't get that vibe with Liam, and I think that's what let him down.
Wow. Liam Rosenior is makes history. He was sacked within 3 months of his job. At least he was sacked later than his father. His father was sacked within hours. It's
Who
a
is this?
family.
And
His father
actually, his
was
father
sacked
was it.
within hours of appointment as coach. Anyways, Liam is not a good manager. That's my first wherever. He can be part of a coaching team, coaching crew, but as a manager, he was terribly poor. I remember when I spoke about that Spanish alliance, I said first person he came in after was Sanchez, dropped Sanchez. The next thing was Enzo was called Fernandez, then Cucurella. And I'm like, from a club whereby Pochettino is Argentine Spanish speaking, which means that those are his core players. They speak the same language. Maresca is Spanish speaking. Those are his core players. You come within a month, and those are the main players that you have come against. Enzo has been one of your best players in that team. Even if you had granted that interview, just overlook it. Sanchez is a good shot stopper. He makes mistakes, but he's a good goalkeeper. That's you can't take that away from him. There are games that could have ended 5-0, 6-0 this season for Chelsea, if not for Sanchez, and that's the truth. Yes, he makes mistakes, but it's not like he's terrible. Cucurella granted interview, then you start talking against them. There are players in that squad that are not Spanish that are worse than those three players.
Like who
Not,
name names, please.
nothing said about them. At least he could have mentioned the player that didn't track a defender. I didn't mention the player's name.
Names now. You're not going to be sacked. We
Didn't name
all
it.
know.
But
No,
but
I'm saying
but but those guys,
Garnacho
but
is
those
terrible.
guys
He's
didn't
not mentioned.
leave the
He
club.
avoids Garnacho's in interviews. Garnacho, your whole defense lineup makes terrible mistake every time. He keeps quiet. Palmer has been subpar this season. He can't even mention Palmer's name. The lab
Yeah,
does not exist in that squad. It's like
The player's name that is not playing, bro.
what
Like
I'm
the last
saying is that like even when they play, they are like okay. For example, the goal Palmer lost the ball that he scored. He didn't talk about it. Then other players do. And so he didn't read the room very well. I think he underestimated the influence of these boys in the dressing room. He underestimated their influence, and that was all led to his sack. So it's a poor for me. I'm not as a coach. He can be part of a coaching crew. He has good ideas. He has let me say creative ideas. Let me use that word. Whether
he
they are
has,
good enough.
he has, in a team, you need somebody that would be motivating the players, like making them feel good behind the scene. That I'm shocked you're not even picking on the fact that he was meeting with players one on one. That kind of like,
One
oh,
on one is good, but
that kind of the way
Atita does it.
the
But
players with baby. That
it,
okay, Sancho, Ghana, you're gonna be
Atita
telling them.
does it. But one thing he has forgotten is that a lot of these players were better than him technically throughout his career. A
Wow.
lot, most of the players,
What has that got to do with anything?
you don't get the point. See, coach, you see players, you see these Gen Z players, they
No,
are not,
no.
you see these
That
Gen
that
Z
that
players,
that
they are,
I don't
Joseph,
believe in
wait, you
that
see these Gen
argument
Z players, they are
because
not nice, so they are not nice like these older guys.
yeah,
Oh.
but you have coaches that are doing well now that didn't even play the game
No, I'm
professionally.
just, who said, there was a coach that someone said, I'm trying to remember the name of the coach now. The player said, imagine a coach telling him to go and watch a video of a player to learn how he defends. And he was like, I'm better than that player, I can't watch it. What I'm trying to tell you, these Gen Z players are not, they are not nice.
Okay,
So,
okay. You said something that is interesting. They are saying that the players Chelsea has now, they are better than Liam, and we've all agreed that our players are not even good.
yes,
So, which of our players are better than Liam as a player? Let's even
what I'm
start
saying,
there.
Liam
Almost
best,
all of them.
almost
Liam
all of
was
them are
very
better than technically than
was a very
Liam.
poor player. Was an
Because Liam
average,
was
average,
very, very, even
average
his
player.
best, he played most of his career in championship. Most of it was
Mm.
in championship.
That's
I think Hall was like his biggest team in the Premier
No,
League where he played for.
Fulham. He played for
Fulham,
Fulham.
okay.
And because
Hall,
Got
Fulham, all of them
promoted,
were up and
he
down
got
season.
promoted with Fulham. Not okay. I think Fulham relegated or so, even with him or something. He was a very average player. Even average is too much for him.
But let me say something real quick. It's very important.
go ahead,
I
bro.
don't. When Liam was our manager, we came from 2-0 down to win. What, to beat West Ham 3-2. I think the last time we did that was like maybe 3 years ago. We hadn't done something like that in a long time. Shay, you know this. We one
I
of
know
our
that.
biggest
You
problems.
see,
One
you're
of our
making this.
biggest problems is when they
That was
score us.
West Ham was at their worst phase that
It,
time during
it,
that period.
no, it doesn't matter. I still think there was something there. Like it's not easy to. Mm,
Joseph, you've made your point, but remember that that was when Liam first came. That was not the only game we came from behind. Remember, we came from
Fulham
behind
as
with
well.
that was
yes,
when he
now.
first came. He was still using Enzo Maresca's tactics, and there was still a bit of the boys were still was ginger. That's your formation, that ginger formation.
So
So
that's
that
why I still
time,
rate Liam.
no, you can't rate him
When
then
he
because
started training them, it got worse.
he was using motivation. So after one or two games, boys see that now motivation this guy
Abando Sanchez.
tactics no day. They just feel like, oh God, not we can't go
See,
on
one
You
thing
like
know,
about this, one
you
thing.
know what? You know what? Right? Let me say something. If Liam had like a trophy under his belt,
that's what I can
right,
say now.
things wouldn't
It's
have
not
been
even
that bad.
trophy. See, Joseph, it's not even trophy. If Liam had like say he had coached under Ancelotti, the respect would be different. That's why I was saying since that all his career has been with average managers that there's not he has to show the players why they should respect him, and that is now harder for him. Company, for example, going to Bayern Munich, they'll be like, "Oh, this guy was the captain of Man City, won the Premier League under Pep." That's different. Ateta's mainstay that got him where he is today was the fact that he was captain under Arsene Wenger, played at Arsenal, assistant coach to Pep that won 3, 4 trophies. That is alone. Even
So,
if
so
Ateta comes as even in Premier League, if Ateta comes as it was David Moyes captain as well, to some clubs will still go for it. Maybe not Arsenal, but the fact that David Moyes was your captain for David Moyes will even give you some name. Who mention any manager that Liam played under that you know? None. We don't even
don't
know
know,
any one of them.
don't know anyone. I was shocked he
He
played for
played under
Brighton. It was
Chris.
when
He played under Chris Coleman,
Who is Chris Coleman?
the Fulham, the Fulham manager.
see,
Also Wales manager.
yeah, so
You asked the question. I've answered your question.
You just set up
Go
these
and look
guys.
up Chris
Let
Coleman.
you
He
have
was actually a decent.
over.
He was
how
actually a
you
decent
that?
manager in the Premier League.
Yes, we know Christopher Wavi, but Kai, that was set up
Michael,
now.
you
That was
know
not
Chris
fair.
Okay,
Coleman,
okay.
right?
Christopher. I know Christopher, but still, that
Eh,
was set
so
up. Today's the first I think of Christopher is like how many,
No,
how
he
many
can go to
thousands of
like I
years
feel that with his CV, if he goes to like team like
set up.
Ipswich Town, like bottom 5 teams, nobody would care. But you can't coach Chelsea with that kind of
So,
CV
and
behind
that
you.
brings me to the